Welcome, we're glad you're here. This video is designed to reveal important inside information that you probably would not otherwise learn until it's too late. Like mudjacking materials, there are many different forms of polyurethane and varying levels of expertise installing them. That's right, simply selecting a polyurethane installer does not guarantee a good repair. There are many companies offering polylifting that are not true specialists. Their expertise is watered down, distracted by focusing on other services in addition to concrete raising. That's why this video is titled Acme versus Mudjacking. The information we're providing is based upon our experience as a true concrete raising specialist using specially selected materials installed by our highly trained certified technicians. We're going to break this information down into 4 important sections: lifting materials, aesthetics, warranty, and cost. If we miss something you're looking for, be sure to check out our frequently asked questions located on our website and YouTube channel. It's probably not hard to understand that how well a slab stays raised is dependent upon the material used to raise it. The differences between Acme lifting materials and any mudjacking service are extensive. There are no similarities at all. Our polyurethane is specifically formulated for the task at hand. Whether it's lifting, deep injection, or stabilization, our materials have documented performance standards. On the other hand, mudjacking slurries will vary from contractor to contractor. If you call 5 mudjackers, you will likely get 5 different explanations of their mix and why they're better than the next guy. It doesn't matter what they call it: concrete-like, cement-like, clay and sand, or custom mortar mixture. In our experience, it's all basically the same. In this segment, we're going to focus on the 4 material characteristics crucial to a long-lasting repair. These include water resistance, strength, material spread, and weight. This information comes from real-world experience, much of which is backed up by an unbiased third-party document that we'll refer to titled Illinois Tollway Guidelines for Pavement Assets. Since most concrete raising projects involve lifting exterior slabs, water resistance is essential to a lasting repair. We always recommend correcting any grading or gutter issues to provide proper drainage away from your concrete. Unfortunately, no matter what you do, moisture will eventually come in contact with the material used to raise the slabs. This is where mudjacking's biggest failure begins. We regularly inspect sunken concrete that had been previously mudjacked. In every case, we can see the mudjacking materials oozing or eroding out from beneath the concrete. To understand this better, we have collected dozens of mudjacking samples where customers claim they were sold a concrete or mortar-like mixture. We take these samples back to our shop so that we can compare their erosion resistance to our polyurethane. We do this by forming equal-sized cubes of material and allow them to fully harden. We then put these samples into side-by-side liquid housings. Small pieces of concrete are placed on top of the lifting materials to mimic real-world conditions. Then, we flow water across the samples to observe how they stand up against erosion. In every case of our testing, the mudjacking material easily breaks down and washes away. Our polyurethane is unaffected by the tests and proven to be completely water resistant. However, don't just take our word for it. The Illinois Tollway Guidelines for Pavement Assets has a section discussing what they've found to be the most appropriate repair methods. The document clearly states, and I'm paraphrasing here, the usage of cementitious grout or mudjacking material has declined due to its erosion potential. The document goes further to say high-density two-component water-resistant polyurethane material is the primary slab stabilization material used today. Not only are concrete slabs heavy, the loads they support can be even heavier than the concrete itself. This brings us to our next critical characteristic, compressive strength. We believe lifting materials should be stronger than you would ever need them to be. A sure way to come up with a good compressive strength rating is to refer back to the Illinois Tollway Guidelines. Their guidelines require a polyurethane foam with a compressive strength rating of 47 pounds per square inch. This rating is actually down from a previous document revised in 2016, which called for a 90 psi rating. Keep in mind, these ratings are for highways with 24/7 traffic on them. However, this is where Acme sets the bar for compressive strength. That's right. Our lifting materials are specifically engineered to meet a 90 psi compressive strength. When looking into mudjacking, you're going to find it's a lot like the wild, wild west, where pretty much anything goes. You will hear various descriptions of how the material is made, along with wildly different claims of performance. All of this largely due to the lack of standardization or quality control, and of course creative marketing attempting to compete with polyurethane. An extreme example of this is a mudjacker claiming to use a custom mortar mixture with a compressive strength of 2,000 to 2,500 psi. With numbers this far out of range, we decided to investigate by funding a project which enabled us to collect samples of their material. Even after 4 days of cure time, these materials exhibited no strength beyond that of a clay, sand, silt mixture. However, to give this material every chance possible, we took a fully cured sample and just placed it into a small amount of water. Not only did the material fail to resist water, it absorbed the water like a sponge. In less than 30 minutes' time, the sample returned to its original state, mud with no compressive strength at all. You might find it hard to believe, but our 90 psi material is theoretically about 100 times stronger than you would need it to be for any practical application. I won't bore you with all the math, it'll be right here if you're interested, but let's imagine an 8x20 driveway slab. If we were to support this slab with our 90 psi material, meeting the specifications for lifting highways, it could, in theory, support a load of over 2 million pounds. So yes, our polyurethane is clearly many times stronger than it would ever need to be. When you have your concrete raised, it needs to be properly supported. Simply having your concrete lifted by a single heap of material will result in future settlement and possibly cracking. This is why material spread is so important, and once again, another way Acme is so different from any mudjacking service. The easier it is for lifting materials to flow or spread out beneath a slab has a lot to do with how well it will be supported. Mudjacking material comes in the form of a slurry, a very thick material. Imagine a blizzard from Dairy Queen. This thick material does not flow very well, which is why mudjackers have to drill large holes in your concrete. Holes large enough to fit this big injection nozzle down through. The mudjacking material is pumped beneath the slab, which raises the concrete. Unfortunately, its lack of spread results in voids. We refer to this as piering. The concrete is raised, but the lack of support can leave the slab stressed. Over time, moisture can soften the mudjacking material, resulting in the slab dropping again. What's even worse is that the lack of support can actually result in the slab cracking and require replacement at this point. With Acme, our material is highly flowable. Think of something similar to olive oil. This is why we are able to use such small injection holes. Holes just large enough to fit this small injection port down through. Our polyurethane flows easily beneath the concrete, spreading out and expanding in all directions, filling voids while raising the slab. Our polyurethane will clearly do a better job than any mudjacking service, but once again, you don't have to take our word for it. Our claims are backed up by the Illinois Tollway, which says slab stabilization is achieved by injecting a highly flowable material underneath the slab. Polyurethane can flow into fine voids and expands up to 6 times its liquid volume, forcing its way into any sized void. Weight exacerbates sinking. If your concrete wasn't so heavy, it probably wouldn't have sunk nearly as much, which means if you're repairing settled concrete, adding more weight to an already compromised area is the last thing you want to do. When looking at any mudjacking service, material weight is the elephant sitting in the room, as they say. It's just another problem with mudjacking technology that can never be fixed. Even if mudjacking were strong enough, or water resistant, or spread out well enough, it's still too heavy. Mudjacking materials can weigh between 100 and 150 pounds per cubic foot, which can mean adding literally tons of weight to your existing concrete. Yes, you heard that correctly. Mudjacking can add thousands of pounds to your concrete. This is just another reason why Acme lifting material is far superior, coming in at about 4 pounds per cubic foot. We are not overstressing areas already prone to settlement. These characteristics are like links of a chain. Any lifting material will only be as good as its weakest link. Mudjacking is well known to fail in the presence of moisture and can have nearly zero compressive strength. Even if mudjacking were strong enough or water resistant, it still adds tremendous amounts of weight to areas already having issues with settling. Any mudjacking service will always fail in the weight department. Our material is water resistant, stronger than it needs to be, spreads out very well, and does not add significant weight to the area. Acme is an easy choice every time. Aesthetics are an important aspect of any repair. When looking into hiring a contractor to provide a service, it's a really good idea to understand what the overall impact will be. For example, if you're going to have your front sidewalk repaired, how will the sidewalk and surrounding areas be impacted? The last thing you want to do is regret having your concrete raised as soon as it's lifted. Unfortunately, this happens all the time. People fail to understand just how invasive or destructive some concrete raising techniques actually are. While it's true that most concrete raising services require holes being drilled in your concrete, it's also true that there's a big difference in how invasive each method is. Take any mudjacking service, for example. All mudjackers use a thick messy slurry to raise concrete. In order to do this, they have to drill large holes large enough for this large nozzle to fit through. Unfortunately, people don't realize how large these holes are until after it's too late. These large hole patches are very noticeable, leaving your concrete permanently scarred. Over time, these large patches can fail, leaving large gaping holes that can become trip hazards. Acme's SmartLift system is completely different. When injected, our material is very thin, highly flowable, allowing us to utilize very small holes. We drill small 5/8 inch diameter holes just large enough to fit a small injection port like this. Once patched and allowed time to cure, our injection sites can blend in very nicely. These patches, being so small, also endure the test of time, resisting chipping and cracking. With Acme, you don't just get a long-term repair, you get a repair that looks great. However, we also need to consider the impact of accessing the work area. Most mudjacking services are required to get their equipment to within about 10 or 20 feet of the slab being raised. This large, heavy equipment can cause damage to lawns, landscaping, and flower gardens. Acme, on the other hand, has a much smarter design. Our pumping equipment remains on our truck, which enables us to access areas with a simple hose. This results in the least possible impact to surrounding areas as we raise your concrete. When you pay to have your concrete raised, you should absolutely get a warranty. How good a warranty is will be based upon the contractor's confidence in their own work. For example, mudjacking companies typically limit their warranty period to only a couple of years, some as little as only 1 year. This should be a major red flag when evaluating contractors. However, buyer beware, as they say. Longer warranty periods do not always mean better. Some companies use warranties as marketing tools, things that sound great until you drill down into the details. A great example of this is a company offering a lifetime warranty. What could be better, right? Unfortunately, the fine print of that particular warranty reduces its value to less than some of the 1 or 2 year warranties out there. Another mudjacking warranty we've seen has a 4-year duration, but the fine print limits their liability to issues with their material, meaning if their material is still there, you have to pay to raise it again. The moral of the story here is don't believe everything you hear. Always read the fine print. With Acme, you get superior lifting materials, certified installers, and a solid warranty, not tricky loopholes. Logic would suggest that Acme would have to be more expensive than mudjacking. Clearly, polyurethane, being an engineered material, will cost significantly more than any clay, sand, cement mixture. Polyurethane equipment is also much more complex and technically demanding than any mud pumping system. How could there not be a major difference in cost between the two? The answer to this question is quite simple. Our competition is overpriced. Even in the event a mudjacker's bid is less than ours, you will be hard pressed to find real value. Weaker warranties, inferior materials, large hole patches that can fail, along with high probability of sinking again, all this spells wasted money. However, simply choosing a polyurethane contractor is no guarantee of value either. Far too many companies offer polyurethane in addition to other services like garage floor coatings or waterproofing. We do not believe these companies are true specialists. nor do we find them to be cost competitive. With Acme, you receive high quality service from a company that stands behind its work at a cost competitive price. That's a real value. Thank you so much for watching this video. We truly hope you found it helpful. Now we're going to leave you with a little information about our company. Acme Concrete Raising and Repair is Chicagoland's very first polyurethane concrete raising and stabilization specialists. We are laser focused on raising concrete. It's all we do. We have multiple crews to serve you, and all our installers are factory certified. We also developed the Smart Lift system, which provides a unique combination of high quality materials, services, equipment, and a price match guarantee, all backed up by our solid warranty program. If you need concrete raised, you cannot go wrong with Acme Concrete Raising and Repair. We look forward to serving you.